Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to the game. We're going to be running through some more MSQ because I still have to finish Shadowbringers in time for Endwalker. And I may be max level, but that doesn't mean I can stop. And heck, if I have enough time, I may start leveling another class. Who knows? We'll see where it goes. Oh, forgot to turn on my lamp. Alright. Here we go. Well, look who's back from the dead. Aye, it was a grim sight. Your companions looked fairly ready to drop when they brought you in, so I offered a helping hand. Couldn't bear to see them struggle so. And you, my friend, I feared you had one foot in the grave, cold and lifeless as you were, like a corpse that was somehow still breathing. Then they told me some evil bastard went and snatched our poor Exarch away in the midst of the chaos. Wicked wight. What is the world coming to? Bah, moaning never solved a thing, did it? Nay. It's times like these that we Crystarium folk stand tall and do what needs to be done. Trade with Yulmore is back on the table. We'd best make use of those resources to fortify the city against the Eaters, and whatever misery the fates deem fit to throw at us next. Speaking of misery, Kesmail was worried sick about you. A healer wringing her hands is not a sight you ever wish to see, let me tell you. Oh, sweetie, you're alive. No one's been allowed to see you. Even Spagherit's chirurgeons were forbidden from making any visits. Ryan was kind enough to tell me you were showing symptoms similar to Eater corruption, so I suppose there was little any of us could have done for you in any case. As for your companions, they've been rushing hither and yon seeking a cure to your condition. I worry to see their faces grown ever more haggard every time they pass through the Crystarium. I shall let them know you're awake, and when they come to see you, sweetie, please do convince them to rest a bit. There won't be any help. They won't be helping anyone if I all collapse of exhaustion. And our own Morin was has been little better, I'm afraid. He hasn't left the cabinet, too busy with his nose buried in one dusty tome or another. Okay, so I'm running around telling everybody that I'm not dead. Confound it. This says the same thing as the last. Mayhap I should approach the problem from a different perspective. Umbra, is it truly you and not some figment of my imagination? Oh, but this is wonderful. 'Twould seem our prayers have been answered. Feeling otherwise helpless, I've been scouring our shelves for the wisdom to explain this most worrisome conundrum. Why, with all the light ones defeated, has the light returned to obscure the sky? I must have pored over 100 tomes, but no definitive conclusion seems forthcoming. So many questions I could pose to the Exarch, and thus do I feel his absence all the more keenly. Now that you're awake, however, I am hopeful the search for our stolen steward might begin in earnest. Catless, meanwhile, leads the crystalline mean in preparations for battle, though against what foe we are yet uncertain. Why not pay her a visit? I expect seeing you upright would be a much welcome relief. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna need one of my shakes if I'm gonna be doing voices a lot. Hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had one of those moments where I was getting a tickle in my throat and I was like, ah, shit. It's amazing how much a composition can change just by changing a few notes. Because this is the Shadowbringers theme, but in a minor key, which completely changes how it sounds, and I absolutely love it. I didn't... There we go. Hold on. Up. Everybody crafting. Umbra, alive and well, I see. You gave us all a right proper fright. You know that. Not a day's gone by that I haven't heard folk worrying what's to become of you or the Exarch. Anyway, I'm glad you've recovered enough to stand. You're not planning on striking out straight away, though, are you? I was hoping to have a better look at your equipment. If we'd be able to provide you with better weapons and sturdier helms, then maybe you would have won the day, and the Exarch would still be here. As such, we're busy consulting each other on new forging techniques and designs and the like. If you could stand still a moment, I'd like to assess the gear we're trying to improve. It wouldn't be impossible to make something better, but we'd need to experiment with different patterns and materials, and I'm not sure we have that kind of time. That sounds like a challenge he would enjoy. Greetings, Leonard. The Master of the Stairs is running his own errands now, is he?
Aye, well, my servers are distraught enough as it is, and I didn't want to crack the whip too hard. But never mind that. I'm thinking our absent genius and his epiphanies are the perfect answer to this predicament of yours.
And by genius you mean old Grenbold. He is a man of unrivaled gifts, I won't argue with you there. But what good does his talent do us if we can't bloody find him? No one's seen or heard hair of Grenbold since he wandered off some years ago. You know what he's like once he latches onto an idea. He's probably cloistered himself in some forgotten cave, completely absorbed in his latest creation. I wouldn't even know where to start looking.
That does make things difficult. Still, if that eccentric is someone you're destined to meet, I'd wager he'll show up soon enough. In my time at the bar, many's the tale I've heard told of strangely fainted encounters, even if a few of them might be stretching the truth just a bit.
We'll keep our noses to the grindstone for the time being, but on the off chance you do encounter Grenold, you'd be wise to take advantage of his brilliance rather than wait on our slow and steady progress. This is all talk for when you're fully recovered, of course.
Excuse me.
I'll let you get back to convalescing, eh?
Before you do that, you're actually the reason I came here in the first place. I don't suggest partaking of my stock until you're properly well, but if you're passing near the stairs, then I've a regular who's eager to meet you. I'd best be getting back. Just because the world's coming apart at the seams doesn't mean we have to follow suit now, does it?
Hear, hear. We can't forget the heart upon which this city was founded, or the Exarch might not have a home to return to.
I want my level 80 job gear. What? What was that noise? Was that mail? Did I get mail? Hello?
Umbra, are you alright? I think a return to your sickbed might be in order. Or you might consider resting a while atop the watchtower next to the rookery. This damnable sky doesn't make much for soothing scenery, but the Exarch often liked to stand there and feel the wind upon his face.
Did I just get mail? Is that what that was? That's downstairs, so I'm not going to be able to check that for now. Hold on. I mean, I bet it was mail. Sorry.
The people of this city have spirit, I'll give them that. They've not lost the will to fight. I can imagine how torn you must feel, looking at that sky, knowing what it means to everyone, and that you're responsible.
Thanks, Ardbert.
Neither can I, to be honest. But you heard what the Ascian said. The light you shine will warp the world around you, whether you like it or not. Even your Stoller and Reen had to concede that point. You're in a corner, and there doesn't seem to be any obvious way out. But that doesn't mean it's over. However hopeless it seems, you haven't lost yet. I remember looking up at the sky like this before. Being caught up in a strange kind of calm. It was after we realized we were responsible for the flood. When we resolved to journey to the source by taking our own lives. One last sacrifice. One last fight. One last failure. And then the Oracle appeared and, well, you know the rest.
Ow.
There were times in the years and decades that followed when I wondered if we might not have been better off just letting the rejoining happen. That we'd made one last mistake. But seeing that giant Talos stir to life cured me of any doubts I still had. Always we took the burden of fighting upon ourselves. That's what heroes do, isn't it? So we never had the chance to see anything like that. Our people coming together as one. To think that their hope still burns so bright. That they were still so eager to live, they would lift up their fellows, one on top of the other, till they reached the sky. No. We made the right decision. And I can finally feel proud of the part we played in helping this world survive. Well, come on then.
Aww.
As I thought. What happened between us was no coincidence. My story may be finished, but the fates have gifted me a minor role in yours. I suspected as much the moment I realized you could hear me. But it's hard not to doubt yourself when you're the man who caused the flood. I was afraid to do anything more than watch for fear of making things even worse. But no longer. After all, the path I once walked is now yours to finish. For what it's worth, I cast my lot with yours. If you need a push, I'll be right there behind you. If you lose control, I'll do my best to stop you. So, let us be about it, hero.
Oh, I was worried you were up here all alone, brooding and fretting and wallowing in your woes. But look at you, grinning at nothing like a pollen-drunk pixie. Look at what you've done to your ether. It's a mess. And you have cracks running all through that pretty soul of yours. My poor little sapling. Whatever am I to do with you? Shall I yield up my throne? You could claim it, cut ties with the mortal world, hide away in the castle. It won't fix the problem, but would it really matter? If any pesky heroes come calling with steel and magic, all of Il Meg will rise up in your defense. My crown and scepter are yours, if you want them. What? Don't give me that look. Of course I knew before I asked that you'd never ever heed such a wicked suggestion. And besides, what would become of my precious and ephemeral flower?
This character is wild.
Oh, my dear beloved sapling. You are lost, confused, and have precious little time to gather your wits. Your kind is always so preoccupied with what lies ahead, and so we muddle your vision with fog and glamour. But such trickery is easy to see through. Stand very, very still. Think not of where you need to go, but where you are right now at this moment, at this time, in this place. Our cairn of crystal. From shadowed hood he watched you go, his ruby eyes with warmth aglow. See yourself as he saw you, and that shall be the clearest clue.
Graha.
You stand in his garden, dear sapling. Ask his flowers what they know, and you will surely find an answer. But what will you do with it, I wonder? I'll be watching and waiting. Waiting and watching.
Oh. Uh-huh. I did not expect you to see you on your feet so soon. Surely you have not come in search of an Amaro. What do I know of the Crystal Exarch? I'm happy to share, but I fear there will be no surprising revelations. As any in this city could tell you, he is a man of wisdom and compassion, and many untold secrets. But none can doubt his generosity. When the Crystarium was being constructed, he even allowed folk to plunder the tower for resources. He has imposed no restrictions upon us but one. No one except the Exarch is permitted to dwell within the spire. Many seasons past, a comrade of mine was bold enough to ask the reason why. The Exarch merely smiled and said, "Because one day the Crystal Tower may vanish as suddenly as it arrived." Okay. I do have to do one thing really, really quick. My phone just went off. I need to make a super fast phone call. I'll be right back. Okay. Quick phone call finished. Sorry about that. Umbra, it's good to see you awake and alert, my friend. What's this about? You're not writing the Exarch's memoirs, are you? I'm not sure how much I can tell you, considering I avoid asking too many questions. Unspoken rule and all that. If anyone has fresh insights to share, then it'd be Captain Lena, I'd assure you. She lost her parents to an eater attack not long after she was born, and the Exarch saw to her upbringing. Outward appearances aside, those two are like grandfather and granddaughter. I imagine the news of his predicament hit her doubly hard. Not that our proud captain would ever let it show. If you decide to talk to Lena, she'll be at her usual post at the Assessor Gate. Where the fuck is that? Oh, good lord.
Oh, was there something else you needed? If you've come for the results of my research into this persistent light, I'm afraid there's little to tell as of yet. Records pertaining to the Exarch? Well, I need no documentation to relay what little I know of his history, if that is what interests you. Less than a decade had passed since the coming of the Flood, when the Crystal Tower first flashed into existence. Its summoner, the Exarch himself, became known to the refugees of Lakeland soon thereafter. He welcomed all who sought out the spire, be they locals who had lost their homes, or Verbatites seeking their ruined kingdom, and together they did found the city which would become the Crystarium. Some thought to call him king, for he refused to share his name, but the summoner did not deem himself worthy of royal address. Thus did the people consider his scintillating skin so like to the tower he had summoned, and bestowed upon him the title of Crystal Exarch. As for his true name, well, 'twould seem that is a mystery that remains unsolved to this day.
Speak with Lena. Wait, hold on. I heard a ding earlier, remember? Did I get mail? Oh my god, I did! Evie! Evie! That was so sweet. In fact, you know what? Sort all this. I'd mentioned in the chat that I was feeling a little depressed today, and Evie sent me like a care package. That's so sweet. Evie, you delightful being, I love you. Hey, Lena.
Umbra, I was not told you had awoken.
I don't remember Lena's voice.
A welcome surprise. Now, if only the Exarch was returned to us. He was taken by this rival of yours, was he not? Your companions mentioned they had an idea of where to find him. And so I bristled when they asked for patience. I did not understand their hesitation until I saw that you had fallen. Only then did I realize I had no business rushing ahead. Even so, the delay has been no less agonizing. In the moments before he left to join you in Calusia, the Exarch entrusted me with a key. It opens a door in the ocular to a chamber known as the Umbilicus. This room is the heart of the tower, in which only the Exarch himself is permitted to enter.
I don't remember her voice at all of a sudden. Jesus.
He'd bid me allow none into the tower until he had departed. Only in the event that an army of eaters descended upon the city was I to access the Umbilicus and awaken the defensive barrier. Never before had he left me with such instructions. But the battle with Vothari loomed near, and at the end I accepted the key without much thought. Since then, however, that moment is all that occupies my mind. When I recall the look upon his face, he knew that some terrible fate awaited him. Tell me, Umbra. I need to know what he feared. What battle you and your companions are truly fighting. Forgive me. I trust in the Exarch, and I should not be voicing these doubts when he is not here to respond to them personally. But you have come to me with a question of your own, have you not? Ah, I see. I'm not the only one who burns for answers. The time has come to open the tower's heart. Though we do not face an invasion of eaters, I suspect the city will be in far more danger if you do not gain the knowledge you seek.
Da, da, na, na, na.
Come, meet me in the ocular, and I will unlock the door within.
Na, 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 na. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. Okay, so if I include this one, I have 9 missions left in the main MSQ of 5.0. And then I will be moving on to the .1, .2, etc's. We're getting there, boys and girls. We gonna do it. Please be voiced. My throat is all fucked up.
I have unlocked the door to the Umbilicus. You are free to enter.
Oh,
Once
I
you
got
have what
close.
you require, I'll see it sealed once more. Until then, I will remain without.
Who's he talking with there? Oh, Urianger.
A moment to collect my thoughts, I prithee. Thy true name is Grahatia, then. By thy claims, thou too art a native of the Source, though from an age beyond our own, when the 8th umbral calamity hath visited devastation upon our star. Thou hast, by subtle means, reached across the boundaries of time and space to unsow the seeds of catastrophe, ere its creeping vines drag our champion unto an early grave.
In essence, yes. A difficult story to swallow, I am sure.
I doubt not the veracity of thy words, not the account of thy coming, nor that of the fated calamity. Yet my mind straineth still to apprehend the enormity of this tale. Wouldst thou favor me with a gradual unfolding of its chapters?
Certainly. But where to begin? I should start with those great minds who survived the calamity. Sid Garland being perhaps the greatest. In hopes of staying the unending tides of war, he and his fellows pursued all manner of possible solutions. One of these was rooted in a theory which unified several fundamental principles discovered over the course of the Warrior of Light's adventures. It proposed a method by which one could enter the River of Time, traverse the rift, and leap between worlds. Perfecting that idea, however, was a work which consumed their lifetimes, and thus was it left to future generations to decide whether theory would be put into practice. But all the while, the world continued to burn. Hope was a feeble outpost, beset on all sides by thievery and misery and murder. People cried out in despair, "There is no hope, we are finished. Mankind is finished." Then others raised their voices in answer. Though we be beyond salvation, those who came before may yet be saved. We will forge a crossroads and pave the way for a different future. By the wisdom of our forebears, we will prevent this calamity from ever having come to pass. The fighting went on unabated, but some few took up Sid's research and labored to realize those impossible ideas. After 2 centuries of labor, their descendants finally succeeded in awakening the Crystal Tower, an integral part of the process, and, in doing so, roused its caretaker, me. By this stage, scholars had largely established the phenomena underpinning the rejoining, and identified the first as the shard which precipitated the 8th umbral calamity. This grand structure was already capable of storing the energies required to attempt the translocation. All that remained was to augment some few of its functions based upon the theoretical models of Sid and his compeers.
And by means of such technologies didst thou effect thine arrival in the first, to an age before this star had joined with the Source.
Some while before, as it turned out. 'Tis all but impossible to predict how time will flow between one world and the next, and we missed our mark by almost an entire century. But this only worked in our favor. The Sin Eaters could not be defeated without the blessing of light, and summoning the only woman who might stand a chance against them would require decades of preparation.
undertaking of scarce credible endurance. That thou hast kept thy plan from falling into disarray these many years bordereth on the miraculous. Yet howsoever history be rewritten, thy present self was shaped by events which followed the calamity. Should said catastrophe be averted, the very skein of thine existence will unravel. Surely thou hast foreseen this.
I am aware of the consequences. 'Tis for that very reason Cid and his colleagues bequeathed their legacy as an offering, and not an edict. To give all of oneself for the happiness of others, and with no promise of reward. 'Tis a hard thing to ask. Harder still for those condemned to survive in a world which pitted brother against brother. Indeed, you are right to call the execution of this plan miraculous, though the force which held it together was nothing so inexplicable. It was her. The warrior of light has been our unbroken thread. Where others would stumble and fall, she would rise above. Where others would break and run, she would carry on. The warrior of light's tale is one of unyielding bravery. To tell it was to feel courage. To hear it was to feel hope. It was a breath of inspiration in an age of suffocating shadow. In the histories of a fallen nation was our hero hailed as its greatest ally. In the time-worn pages of a noble's memoirs were her deeds joyously retold. For many, these stories were the flame which warmed them through the coldest of nights. And so it should come as little surprise that the plan found no shortage of volunteers, concerning as it did the Warrior of Light herself. It was their chance to add their own verse to the hero's saga. She was the lodestar that brought them all together, to send their final message back through time and space to her. The light of your legacy was our torch in the darkness. Burn bright again and live. I am merely the bearer of that wish, come to ensure it is safely delivered.
Wherefore sharest thou this burden with me and no other? What wouldst thou have me say?
That you will be my accomplice? 'Twas you yourself who convinced me of your suitability when you spoke of how you learned of the Flood, and of your part in arranging Linfilia's journey to the First. Your actions showed uncommon resolve. 'Twas clear you were committed to the cause of saving this world. I knew I could trust you to choose the right path forward, even if that choice came with a heavy price.
What price?
When all is said and done, and the last of the Light Wardens lies slain, I will absorb their corrupted ether, and then I will die. Knowing what I know of your companions, not to mention your champion, they will try to stop me. But in saving one, they would save none. Therefore, I implore you to aid me in concealing my identity, and ensuring this tale ends as it must. To this end, I would have you take what I have told you of the Calamity, and make of it a portent. A prophetic vision you beheld in the swirling chaos of the rift.
Is this truly thy wish?
History remembered the Warrior of Light, as I knew it would. And I will suffer no other to rescue the champion whose star has charted my course. I will see this tale to a happy end, my friend. There has been enough tragedy.
Careful now. If you lose control again, the light could claim you for good. Although it's probably only a matter of time before you succumb to the change in any case. What do you mean to do? We should be on our way. Diassian mentioned the Tempest, did he not? That's the stormy seas around Calusia to you. His lair must be down there somewhere, hidden beneath the waves.
Did you find the answers you sought? If there is nothing more you need, I will go and lock the door. You wish to know the way to the Tempest? You mean the sea itself and not the island of Calusia? If you make a request of the Tamers, they will provide you within a morrow, but... Do you mean to leave right at this moment? Alone? I'm not sure that... Nay, I will not seek to stop you. Go with the blessings of the Shadow, and I will await your safe return.
I cannot do her voice. Damn it, that was the wrong one. Nope. There it is. You require an Amaro. Just a moment, and I shall saddle our swiftest beast to fly you to the island. The open water? To the depths of Tempest? Our Amaro can swim, yes, but to reach the ocean floor... I don't need you to reach the ocean floor. I can reach the ocean floor.
Ah, we have found thee. Word reached us of thy recovery, and thus did we gather with all haste. By thy looks, I gather thou hast gleaned that which I came to tell thee.
Urianger has shared everything with us. The Exarch's true identity and purpose.
I offer no excuses. When I agreed to aid the Exarch with his plans, 'twas in full acceptance of the condemnation I would face when my duplicity was laid bare. Yet it is is not rancor, but resolve that I sense in thee. Thou art fully intent upon walking thy path to its end, art thou not? If thou canst forgive my deception, or, failing that, set aside thy displeasure for a time, I do beg leave to follow thee. What strength and wisdom I possess are thine to command. I thank thee. Doubt not but that I will do all in my power to repay thy kindness and fulfill the Exarch's wishes.
I'm sorry, but I don't think this is a good idea. Leaving the Crystarium, I mean, with or without Urianger. What I did for you won't last forever. There's no telling when the light will break free again. Please, you must stay here. At least for a little while longer. We will find a way to cure this, I promise you.
How can you make promises? We don't even know where to start.
Alize, please. You know Reen was only trying to help.
Of course I know! I know only too well! But making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. It's a lie. Plain and simple. We've all searched, high and low, for an answer. And every one of us came back empty-handed. I am not about to stand in her way now. Not after failing her in her hour of need. No. The least we can do is...
We will go with you as well. There is naught to be gained by standing still.
Indeed, we have exhausted every other avenue. Lead, and we shall follow. If there is any hope to be found, then we will surely find it at your side.
Are we all in agreement then?
Is there aught we can do to help?
Oh, holy shit.
Though we may not know the whole story, we do know you're in for a fight. And while the Exarch's away, it falls to the rest of us to see the Warrior of Darkness is given a proper send-off.
You told them!
No! Well, not in so many words.
Aye, we didn't need it spelled out for us. When the night sky appeared over whichever place you went to, it was harder not to put two and two together.
I mean, yeah.
From the moment I heard that you and the Exarch shared the homeland, I had my suspicions. Long had he been waiting for a certain someone to arrive, and I knew at once that it must be you.
Exactly. When he went up to meet you, it was clear it was no ordinary visitor. That spring in his step spoke volumes. I could feel his excitement.
Eat him! That's right!
We do not fully understand where you or the Exarch hail from, or why you've all done so much to protect us. But we are deeply grateful nonetheless. So, if there is anything at all we might do to aid your journey, you need only name it. What would you have of us?
You might have invited them to join us, where there are not so many. But come, they are waiting. What is your will, O Warrior of Darkness?
Thou didst plan to commandeer in a morrow for thy journey to the open sea. I fear the following dive down unto Emmett Silk's underwater abode would drain even thy legendary stamina. Thus, during thy convalescence, we considered the most efficacious method for reaching the depths of Tempest, and I believe we have arrived at an elegant solution. Yet, ere we discuss this step, I suggest thou dost conclude such pressing business as remains to thee in the Crystarium. Once the sea closeth over our heads, we are unlikely to surface again until our grand deed is done. Let's go. Thine affairs are in order? Then I shall unfold to thee my proposal. Our destination is the open floor, yet our goal is not simply to arrive there. Nay, we must needs have the means to breathe and fight freely. Thus would I petition the aid of one of the Fae, a being with whom I have yet to meet face to face. Rather than waste words on explanation, I bid thee follow me unto the hamlet of Sullen, which lieth to the south and west. All will become abundantly clear, I promise thee. Ah, Dookie. Ah, man. I missed it by that much. Oh, just got another letter. There to the west, canst thou discern the hump of an isle rising above the water? That foliage-covered mass hideth the key to our safe descent. Swim close and plunge thee beneath the surface. Thou shalt soon divine the reason for my insistence. Though it be much to my shame, I can but flail and flounder where thou mayest glide as a fish. I shall board a boat to the island and spare one and all the spectacle of mine inept strokes. Well, what hast thou discerned? Truly, naught could be further from the truth. According to the lore of pixies, we are, even now, perched on the back of an ancient fey entity. Its name is Bismarck. Aye, the selfsame title by which we know the great feathered whale revered by the Vanu Vanu of the Source. I would enlist its aid to bear us into the deep, and thence banish the waters with the airy sphere, alike in form to the domes which do shelter the hamlets neath the ruby sea. Within its compass we may move unencumbered, and defend ourselves when the hour of battle cometh, as it most assuredly shall. Now, I must needs ask for silence while I make my supplication.
Wir Sach, Bilan Bismail. Fallen si lor wislan, ada si alinal.
Van urs atslir, olfod thim, iri guath thi.
Oh dear. I don't need to speak Fey to know that didn't go well.
To call me at last! And where do you go? On a trip? A journey? I knew you wouldn't give up without a fight. Oh, my precious mortal, I shall help you in any way I can. Gers Bismail win picked. Van dromi drom jakom. Van Reed Rithje.
Ahai una, sahawin ulsk. Isnerim, sur vierlo.
Be sure to scrub this one's teeth for him upon your return. It's only good manners.
It will be done, Your Majesty. Our deepest thanks for your timely intervention.
An agreement is reached, and your departure is at hand. You wingless ones best hold on tight. May the blessings of the Fae keep you safe, Inba.
Lo fallo ruis. Van in narsitar. Dir sitagnai.
And just like that, it's all gone back to the way it was.
What was you expecting? 100 years of honey and rainbows? Seeing them Yulmore types wake up and smell the ashes was miracle enough for me.
Ah, but the magic in the air when that ladder started moving. And when that great hulking Talos rose up. Gods. I could live 1,000 years and never behold anything so amazing.
You sure about that?
What the? Do you see that?
What a monster! Where did it even come from? Whoa there! It's not stopping!
You better start running, boys.
Run! Run!
All right. Trying to sit up a little straighter.
The breath of Bismarck. See how it swells to form a dome beneath the waves? The waters recede. The tempest's floor is laid bare. In defiance of the blinding sky, this place holds fast to its gloom. The last refuge of he who denies the light with every fiber of his being. You stand at the precipice, hero. Journey unto the heart of darkness. Finish it.
Noverend, the Tempest. Full glad am I that Bismarck was true to his word. We are arrived in the Tempest safe and dry. 'Tis here that we shall find the lair of Emmett Selk, and I believe the imprisoned Exarch as well. For Nassian alone, it is of course a trifling matter to flee into the rift, yet I suspect such travel is nigh impossible with a mortal in one's custody. Nay, he would not soon risk his prize when the Exarch's very body serveth as the key to the Crystal Tower and its powers of temporal transformation. Thus, am I all but certain that this underwater realm harboureth our friend and enemy both. We have but to find them. In the event that you leave this area, speak with blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, as for where we should be looking, I rather doubt Emmett Selk will be sitting around out in the open. I propose we follow the slope down toward the deeper trenches, and keep an eye out for rock formations large enough to house a stronghold. Let's be off, then. But watch your footing, the ground is still wet and like to be slippery. All up. Oh, good lord. I hear it, which means it's above me. Yep. See if I can get higher. There you are. There's a lower area. So... okay, I see. Alright. Hey, kid. There it is. All right. Got that started. Fitness ones. They followed me. Jesus. Pray forgive us any inconvenience we have caused. We were not aware your people lived here. Jesus Christ, I keep fucking up today. We need this great dome of air that we might conduct our most urgent search, and thus beg you for your understanding. Chieftain, what are we to do? Are you emissaries of the Ancient Ones? The mysteries have stirred. We have seen the illuminated land shining through the gloom of the abyss. If you are the emissaries... fucking goddamn it. I am not sure I understand. Would you be willing to elaborate? It would seem not. I suggest we withdraw for the moment. So, what's the plan? Given your condition, I'm reluctant to suggest lingering here. That said, our presently meandering search would proceed far more swiftly if we could call upon the Undo's local knowledge.
Yes. I'd like to know more about this illuminated land the chieftain spoke of. Could it be... fucking...
We cannot dismiss the possibility, but if these Ondo refuse to speak with us... Umbra, do you remember my first scheme for entering Yulmore? How I had planned to ingratiate myself by offering lucrative trading opportunities with the Ondo? The individual I dealt with was reticent in a manner and curious in custom, but we were able to reach an agreement nonetheless. I believe that with the right approach, we can build a similar relationship here.
Alizine.
What kind of approach do you have in mind? That chieftain fellow didn't leave us many options. If we are to tread the swiftest course, then we must needs locate its beginning. 'Tis plain our all too dramatic arrival hath thrown this settlement into confusion. Were we to solve such problems as we have caused, and assure our hosts thereby that our purpose here is not inimical to them, they may yet prove amenable to reason. I smell chores, but very well, if it can be done quickly. What do you think? I've nothing better to offer, but I do worry what will happen if the Ondo's tales end up leading us to a dead end. I cannot say for certain, but I sense this tribe has a deeper connection to the Ascians than first meets the eye. It warrants further investigation. Thus, I cast my vote in favor of aiding the settlement for the time being. Let's do it. Then it is settled. Ishtola, pray proceed with your investigations. The rest of us will see about fostering some goodwill. Great. Time to run errands. Umbra, you won't believe who I've just bumped into. Alizai. This is Paul's own, the very fellow I did business with prior to our ill-fated stay in Yulmore. I waited and you did not come. Then the Mistle came, but his visits did not continue. I am truly sorry, Pashon. Things did not proceed as planned. Is there aught we can do for you by way of an apology? Perhaps. Where the dry return. A cavern to the north is home to giant crabs. We do not fear the crab, for we are swifter swimmers. But now there is no water. We run and they scuttle close behind, snipping and snapping with their claws. There is too many of them. Too many. Ah, I believe I can be of assistance there. And what of you, Umbra? If you've not found a task, you are most welcome to join me. Indeed, I should appreciate the company, where the dry return has a rather ominous ring to it. Damn. Alright, well, there's one to the east anyway, so I'll be able to hit that. If I can get up there. I guess I can't for now. But since I'm going this way anyway, I might as well try to find the eastern one. Excuse me, good lord. Wow, I drove through him and he ignored me. Not used to that. Ignoring you. Okay, so it is down here. Northwest. So in this one. Oh, there it is. Next one is to the southwest. Do we go for it? Do we just continue with the ether currents while we have a moment? I mean, we might as well. I've already got almost half of them. Nope, see ya. Oh, it's a duty. Never mind. All right, fuck that. 237 directly to the south.